Hey everyone, we are back for our bonus series of lessons. I know some of you have asked about the remaining unit and wanting to do that, so I'll create a set of videos, and you can work on these over the summer should you choose. All my videos on YouTube will stay up through the summer and through next year. All right, so today what we're going to do is we're going to look at minimum and maximum values. And minimum and maximum values are simply, if I can do two different parabolas, this here is our minimum value for y. It's the lowest y will ever be. And this here is our maximum value for y. It's the greatest value that y will ever be. And the way that we are going to achieve those, or basically find the vertex, is today we're going to learn how to go from standard form to vertex form. So just as a reminder, standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. We have factored form, which we just spent a lot of time on, which is y equals a x minus r, x minus s. And in our last unit, we spent a lot of time factoring, going from standard form to factored form. What we're going to do today is we are going to learn how to go from standard form to vertex form. And if you recall, vertex form is y equals a x minus h squared plus k. And remember, a is our stretch or our compression of our parabola. Our h is moving left or right. And our k is our up or down movement. So today we're going to learn how to go from standard form to vertex form. And we call that completing the square. So let's learn how to complete the square. So if I give you a question here, so this is in standard form. I guess there is a y equals. And remember, this is in ax squared plus bx plus c form. So the first thing that we're going to do here is we are going to put brackets around the first two terms. And eventually what we're trying to do here is we're trying to create a perfect square trinomial within these brackets, and that'll allow us to get to vertex form. So I'll show you how that goes. The way we do that is we take our b value, which is 6. So our b value is 6. And we take that, we divide it by 2, and we square the answer. And we add that in. And the way we add that in is we add it in as a +9 and a -9. +9 and -9 is 0. So we haven't added anything into this equation. We've added 0. But what it does is it allows us to create a perfect square trinomial here. So I'm going to move this 9 outside the brackets. And hopefully now you realize that or recognize that we have a perfect square trinomial here. And if I was to factor that, I would get x plus 3 and x plus 3, which of course is x plus 3 squared. And -9 plus 2 is -7. I don't expect you to write this line out. Hopefully by now with your factoring skills, you can go straight from the perfect square trinomial to this. But I wanted to show you the whole progression. So now we have vertex form. There's no stretch or compression. This is going to go down 7. And of course, we are going to go to the left by 3. Let's try another question here. So I guess step 1 would be brackets. Step 2 is to take the b value, 8 divided by 2 equals 4, square that, and we get 16. And we can add that in. And I'm going to put the plus 16 inside the brackets, and I'm going to put the minus 16 outside the brackets, save a step. Third step is to, I guess we're going to factor the perfect square trinomial. So we're going to get x plus 4 squared. And on the outside, minus 16 plus 15 is minus 1. Done. All right, let's take this one step further. All right, in this case, unlike the last two examples, we have an a value here that is something other than 1. So first of all, we are going to, 1, still do our brackets. So I can add our brackets in. And 2, we are going to greatest common factor the brackets. But we're going to do the coefficient only. So within these brackets here, you can see that we have, I could pull out a 2 from the coefficients and an x from the variables, but we are not going to pull anything out from the variables. We're going to leave those. We're only going to pull out our greatest common factor coefficient. So between 2 and 12, that's 2. And inside the brackets, we are left with this when we divide by 2. So we didn't pull the x out. That's really important. Step 3 here is we're still going to deal with b because we do want to create a perfect square trinomial within the brackets. So we are going to do 6 divided by 2 is 3. We square that and we get 9. So we have y is equal to 2, x squared plus 6x plus 9, and I'll put the minus 9 on the outside. Once again, plus 9 minus 9 is 0. So we've added nothing into this equation, but we've just given ourselves more tools to work with. All right, step 4, we're going to do a couple things here. One, we'll deal with a perfect square trinomial, and I'll break this up into 5 steps for this one. So y equals 2x plus 3 squared. And I'm not touching this right now. I would do this all in one step, but I'm breaking it up for you. Here we're going to take our 2, and we're going to multiply it by this minus 9. I don't even know how to begin to explain to you why we're doing that without confusing you, but we're going to do it. The other key here is the 2 does stay out front. So we're going to do here a 2 times minus 9 and get a minus 18 and carry down our minus 3. And now we can simplify and we get minus 21. So I guess here we are multiplying our a value by, I don't even know what we're going to call that. It's just one of those things where you sort of have to memorize those steps. So let's do one more here so we can look at that process. All right, in this case, I've we have an a value here, and our a value is -1. So this, our a is not 1, it's -1, so we have to use this format that we just went over. So first of all, we're going to put brackets around this, and we're going to pull out our greatest common factor of the coefficients only, and that's going to be a -1 because we want positive x's inside the brackets. Take our b value, which is 10, divide it by 2, which is 5, square it, and we get 25. So we get y equals -1 x squared plus 10x plus 25, and then outside the brackets -25 minus 9. -1 times -25 is +25, and I'll carry down the -9, so I did that step. And I'll also deal with our perfect square trinomial, which factors to that. So once again, -1 times -25 gives us +25, but that value stays out front as well. And 25 minus 9 is 16. So we have a parabola that opens downwards. It's not stretched or compressed because that is a 1 value, but it does open downwards. We are shifting to the left 5, and we are shifting upwards 16. So when we're talking about finding minimum and maximum values, in this case, we can find that. So we know that our vertex here is at -5, 16. We know that, so it's at -5 and 16. We know it opens downwards. Here's our parabola. Therefore, this is our maximum value. Going back to say this parabola here, we know it's going to be at -3, -21, and we're opening upwards with a stretch of 2. So in this case, our vertex is at -3, -21, and it is our minimum value. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good day.